There is a dangerous assumption in cybersecurity. We assume the enemy is outside the gates, trying to break in. But what if the enemy was already invited in? What if you paid them to be there? In September 2024, thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies detonated simultaneously across Lebanon. It wasn't just a software glitch, it was a physical supply chain attack. Those devices were intercepted, rigged, and programmed long before the end user ever opened the box. They were born as weapons. But as a CCIE and a CCDE, I don't just look at kinetic explosives. I look at the digital equivalent. What if a device like this, manufactured overseas, was compromised on the factory floor? It looks normal. It passes your IT team's initial tests, but buried deep in its firmware is a sleeper cell, a command and control backdoor, just waiting for a signal to wake up. In 2021, security researchers discovered CVE 2021-36260, a critical vulnerability in over 70 Hikvision camera models that gave attackers full root-level command execution. No credentials needed, no brute force. The backdoor was already there. This isn't just a hypothetical scenario. It is exactly how modern digital warfare is waged. And according to the IBM's cost of data breach report, 83% of organizations have experienced more than one breach. The question isn't whether you will be targeted, it's whether your architecture will hold when you are. When I consult for major enterprises, the IT directors, they always tell me the same thing. We are safe. Our critical cameras and controllers are in-house. We are air-gapped. The air-gap? The idea that if a network isn't physically connected to the internet, it cannot be hacked. Let me tell you a story about the air gap. Over 15 years ago, Iran built a nuclear enrichment facility at Natanz. It was buried underground. It was entirely air-gapped. Yet, Israeli and US intelligence destroyed their centrifuges with a piece of malware called Stuxnet. How? An insider, a compromised contractor, a simple USB drive plugged into the wrong machine. Stuxnet proved that the air gap is just an illusion, a fortress with a hidden backdoor. And this isn't just ancient history. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also called CISA, issued an emergency directive warning that Chinese manufactured surveillance equipment embedded in the US infrastructure was actively phoning home. The UK government went further ahead. They banned Hikvision cameras from all sensitive government sites, not because of a hack they detected, because of what they found inside the firmware. You don't compromise a state-level camera system by brute forcing a firewall from the outside. You do it through the supply chain. You do it through the compromised endpoints. You do it by exploiting the very architecture the victim thinks is protecting them. Now, let's talk about your network. You might say, if a rogue camera wakes up and tries to phone home to a server in Russia, my network admin will see the outbound logs. My next generation firewall with deep packet inspection will catch the anomaly. And you would be right. If the traffic is plain, we will catch it. But hackers, they don't just use plain traffic anymore. They use the encryption trap. Let's say your network video recorders or your NVRs or your camera controllers are hosted in the cloud or managed by a trusted third-party vendor. To keep that data safe, your IT team does exactly what they are trained to do. They build an encrypted tunnel. Think of it as an armored vehicle, sealed shut, that runs from your office straight to the vendor's data center. Nothing can see inside it, not even your own firewall. You just handed the enemy a diplomatic pouch. Your $1 million firewall looks at that traffic and says, I can't see inside this, but it's going to our trusted vendor, so let it through. But what if the vendor is compromised? What if the manufacturer built a backdoor that routes through that trusted connection? The encryption you bought to keep the hackers out is now hiding the hackers who are already inside. They ride that trusted tunnel right past your intrusion prevention systems. You aren't just buying security, you are buying blind trust. So the question becomes, what do you trust when everything you bought can be turned against you? When the wall has a door and the door has a key and the key was cut by the enemy? You stop trusting things and you start trusting systems. That shift from perimeter trust to architectural trust is the entire philosophy of zero trust microsegmentation. As a CCDE, my job isn't to build a thicker wall, it is to build that architecture. We design environments where even if a camera wakes up and turns hostile, it hits a concrete digital wall. It cannot pivot to your finance servers. It cannot access your customers' databases. It is trapped. We monitor the behavioral flaws. We don't just ask where the traffic is going, we ask why it's going there. A camera should only talk to one NVR on schedule with predictive packet sizes. The moment it starts making DNS queries to an IP in Shenzhen at 3 am or its data transfer baseline spikes by 40%, that's not an alert, that's a confession. Every security vendor will sell you a product, very few will tell you the truth. The most dangerous attack surface in your organization isn't just the dark web, it's your procurement department. The weapons are already on your racks, some of them are already awake. The only question is whether your architecture is ready for them or whether you are still relying on that blind trust. If you want a real answer, not a guess, not a checklist, the link below is where that conversation starts. Confidential, architectural, and no blind trust. If this episode changed the way you see your infrastructure, then subscribe. Because next time we go inside the behavioral analytics that catch these sleeper cells before they detonate.